Orally transmitted teachings, Ongi Kuden, in Japanese on Buddhism Lesson 21I, Marcellin Zirignon, the reincarnation of the Bodhisattva Limitless-Practices, became the Buddha Muhengyo, who appeared in the era of Mappo to fulfill his human-saving mission Part 4. The meaning of Muhengyô and Limitless-Practices. The meaning of Muhengyô. Muhengyô is a Japanese word that symbolizes combativeness. My fighting spirit takes on a double nature. First, in the Buddhist martyrology, I am the Bodhisattva who occupies the first place. Secondly, in relation to the universal movement of kosen-rufu, I am the Bodhisattva to whom the most difficult mission falls. I revisit the main lines of this mission, to convert humanity to orthodox Buddhism in an environment dominated by various Buddhist and non-Buddhist teachings. To see to it that the people who come to the Lotus Sutra for me attain immediate and immediately Buddhahood. To protect them from the various persecutions foretold in the sutras and which some of their co-religionists have experienced in the past. To bring them both material and immaterial benefits. In the end, without my work, Buddhist law would remain a dead letter. Its interest would lie only in the fact that it would only an object of philosophical thought. The Buddha of boundless practices, the Buddha with the double face of Yanis, the Swiss Army knife of the Bodhisattvas guides. At odds with the revered Shakyamuni, Tiante and Daishonin and all the great sages who have preceded me, my teachings will not be one-dimensional, my Dharma will have the double face of Yanis. The first face, the religious Dharma, will be the Dharma as the great sages professed it. The second face, the secular Dharma or non-religious Dharma, will be nothing but the secular teachings. With me and in me will be achieved the union of these two typologies of teaching. In reality, these two categories of teachings, the only ones that can exist, are two sides of the same coin. Isn't Janus, that mythical character of Latin mythology, the one and the same person? The Daishonin himself writes in the Gosho, profane things constitute in themselves Buddhism. This explains this. Concretely, my action in the field will consist not only in teaching Buddhism, especially the Lotus Sutra to sentient beings, but also, last but not the least, by teaching them the secular Dharma, if necessary, bringing them material benefits directly by means of the said Dharma. The Bodhisattva Limitless-Practices, present evidence of the eternity of the Buddha's life. The Bodhisattva boundless practices symbolizes the eternity of the Buddha's life. It could not be otherwise, inasmuch as it is under my ministry that Buddhist law will colonize the whole of Jambudvipa. Anything that will make Buddhas galore. In short, under my ministry, the eternity of the Buddha and the life it magnifies will find a fruitful breeding ground for their blossoming. In short, my teachings, I mean the religious Dharma, in terms of enlightenment come in third place after those of Shakyamuni and the Daishonin. This is for two essential reasons. First, they reveal the great sanctuary of definitive teaching, in addition to building it definitively. Secondly, they revisit all the dharmas of the great sages who preceded me from a 2.0 perspective, in this era of Sakkatic Mappo. The mission of concretizing the current proof, another proof of the complexity and homo-saving nature of my mission. The era of kosen-rufu is the era of current proof. When I think that I, Marcellin Zirignon, a mere mortal still subject to the three poisons and comparable to the demon Shakra who taught Sesen Doji, it is incumbent upon me to demonstrate that orthodox Buddhism is the realm of actual proof. The bliss in which I find myself is ineffable. The four demons and three obstacles, Sancho Shima, in Japanese, that since I appeared on this earth, Saha have been stalking me and that will still stand in my way will not alter this bliss in any way. In reality, I am a distant Buddha. What is a distant Buddha? A distant Buddha is a person whose attainment of Buddhahood is not only effective in this life, but goes back to the past, a past that is sometimes distant, even too distant. The archetype of the distant Buddha is the Buddha of Chapter 16 Juryo, the Buddha Shakyamuni's lifespan. In this chapter, the revered Shakyamuni reveals to us that, contrary to popular belief, he did not attain enlightenment for the first time in this lifetime, but that his enlightenment dates back to a distant past, called Gohyaku Jintengo, in Japanese, and since then, appearing in this world and others, he has not ceased to propagate Buddhist law. Godo Godo, The period of my attainment of Buddhahood, like the Buddha Shakyamuni, I reached Buddhahood in the distant past known as Godo, immemorial past, in Bede, an Ivorian national language, and since then, I have not stopped propagating the Lotus Sutra, but unlike the Tathagata, only in other worlds. As for our Saha land, I am there at my first and only appearance. In reality, I've never appeared there before. When I leave it, I will never return to it. After ingesting this educational capsule, it will be possible for you to deepen your knowledge on this theme by referring to my sutras or writings of a Buddha, in Sanskrit, where it is developed at length. These sutras are available, in French, the original version, in American English and in German in paperback and Kindle books on all Amazon sales sites. Regarding the Amazon KDP links to my sutras, please refer to my TikTok or Facebook profiles or even to Lesson 11 of my teachings. All my videos are compiled on my 3 YouTube channels, Kosen-rufu TV, English Kosen-rufu TV and Kosen-rufu Well. For the links to these channels, see my bio or type the title of the channel of your choice in the Google search bar.